Hello and welcome to Spice Up Your Life, and we have a treat today, another Pinkie and Rarity episode. We all remember the last time these two co-headlined an episode, we were given gift of the mod pie. Seriously, something between these two just clicks whenever they're the main duo of an episode, and it's usually a hilarious product. Although I have a lot of faith in the writers when it comes to Pinkie and Rarity episodes, replicating the spectacle that was gift of the mod pie won't be a simple project. But if Spice Up Your Life is even half as good as that, I think we'll be in good hands. Let's find out. Okay, first off, the Cutie Map is back. I had a feeling that Starlight's spell used in the season 5 finale may have offset the map in some way, but to see it fully functioning again after 12 episodes of season 6 was such a satisfying feeling. I loved the concept of the map back in season 5 and how it reminded me a lot of TV shows like Knight Rider and the A-Team by giving the main 6 special tasks to complete. I can't wait to see where else the map sends everyone, hoping for Las Pegasus, and if Starlight herself will be called upon by the map. Now for the actual plot of the episode. The conflicting views between the father and daughter rubbing off on Rarity and Pinkie worked surprisingly well. I was hoping for another comedy-oriented episode, but I really liked that Rarity and Pinkie didn't see eye to eye on what they thought would work for the tasty treat. In fact, I really didn't side with either pony because I understood both of their stances. Rarity's views made sense because she knew that out of all the restaurants in Restaurant Row that had been critiqued, they all shared similar decor, waitstaff, and food. Thus, having the tasty treat mimic what was successful gave it a better chance of being critiqued and noticed. But on the other hand, Pinkie's idea of keeping the restaurant's atmosphere the same as it always was worked as well, since the tasty treat was completely unique from the other fancy pants eateries of Restaurant Row. Sure, mimicking the success of others can work, but if that's all you do, there won't be any kind of individuality that makes what you do special. That goes along with the food as well. The Tasty Treats lunch looked much more appetizing than what the other restaurants were serving, and be that as it may, if you're too different, the unfamiliarity will work against you. I honestly thought the way the writers pulled off how I couldn't really choose who was right was amazing. I did lean more towards Pinkie's stance, but I really couldn't sit there and say she was right and Rarity was wrong. As for the new characters, I enjoyed both the father and daughter that ran the Tasty Treat. At least the daughter's accent didn't get on my nerves like the accent of the pink spa worker from Applejack's Day Off. One thing I have to give credit for is the writers didn't go the tired route of the daughter wanting to modernize while the dad wants to stick to the old ways. Both knew what they wanted, they just didn't know what to do to get it. Even when the dad was working with Rarity, he didn't appear to like what had happened to his restaurant, especially since he went along with Rarity by saying she said it would work and he wasn't going to argue. He didn't sound like he had complete confidence in Rarity's decision, but he also didn't want to turn down a chance to have his restaurant finally get noticed. As for Zesty, sorry, she just does not look alive at all. Was her design supposed to be nightmare-inducing? Anyway, I liked how she wasn't one of those in-your-face jerk critics. She was much more cold and bitter, which only made me love to hate her more. Don't get me wrong, I like the way she was written, I just don't like anyone at all who has their ego dripping off their bodies with the air of, I'm better than you, or I'm right and you're wrong unless you agree with what I say. She's definitely the kind of character you'd love to hate. And there is one thing that confused me. Isn't Pinkie friends with Minuet as Amending Fences proved? I'd think that at least she, Moondancer, Twinklehearts, and Lemonshine would help Pinkie and Rarity out with getting ponies in the Tasty Treat. Minuet was even shown as declining to go to the restaurant for dinner. I mean, she doesn't have to go, but maybe she could have helped Pinkie out a bit by spreading the word to her other friends or at least other ponies she knows. But putting that aside, I love Pinkie's progression of trying new restaurants that ended with her acting like a picky 5-year-old.
Nope.
And her panic attack when she was shown the nasty food from earlier.
Not that anything to that!
In fact, her outbursts were the best parts of the episode. And I did like the moral at the end of the episode. While there's nothing wrong with getting someone's opinion on something before trying it, it doesn't mean that their opinion is fact or the only one that matters. Zesty's little speech about Rarity being able to tell ponies which hats to wear with what skirt, but not able to tell them where to eat is the epitome of someone who admires their opinion far too much. Her speech is like someone saying I can judge a NASCAR race, but I can't judge a football game because I'm a NASCAR fan. Anyone and everyone can have their own opinions on whatever they wish. It doesn't mean they have to blindly follow or agree with someone else's view. In fact, I failed at this lesson a long time ago. I've always loved Def Leppard, but I avoided their Slang album from 1996 because a lot of people told me it was awful and the band had sold out to what was popular at the time. For a long time, I held this belief without even giving the album a chance before I entered into college last year and finally gave it a listen one day. I ended up loving what the band was able to do while doing something completely different from what I've always known them to be. It's okay to use other opinions as a stepping stone, but you should be able to figure out your own opinion rather than agreeing with others without even giving something a shot. So, what did I gain from Spice Up Your Life? Well, as usual, Pinkie had her funny outbursts, and the episode did a lot of things right that I can respect, though the word respect seems to click with my opinion of this episode instead of the word enjoy. Like I said earlier, it was going to be a difficult task to try and even come close to what Gift of the Mod Pie was able to accomplish. Spice Up Your Life, to me, didn't even come close to the enjoyment I felt during Rarity and Pinkie's first episode together of Season 6. The moral about choosing your own opinion and not being afraid to voice it was well delivered and not forced. Rarity and Pinkie's conflicting viewpoints were presented in such a way that makes it very difficult to say who had the right idea on how to drum up business for the restaurant, and a lesson about the importance of a balance between what's familiar to people yet unique to yourself was spot on. However, as much as these were done right, there wasn't really anything memorable about them that will make me yearn to revisit this episode. I mean, there's nothing awful about Spice Up Your Life whatsoever, but there's nothing too spectacular about it either. Yet I still like the story it was able to tell and some of the lessons people can take away from it. Giving it a rating wasn't easy, but Spice Up Your Life is a respectable yellow flag episode. But what's your opinion of the episode? I'm MrLeftTurn. I'll see you the next time I get back from the track.